It's Kazuchika Okada versus Will Ospreay for the last time until the next time. Perhaps even sooner than we think. Perhaps maybe even again in the land of All Elite, Tony Khan will break out the bread. He already broke out the bread to bring Ospreay in. He'll want to bring Okada in. He'll want to bring the entire New Japan roster in. But first, let's talk about this show. I'm John Wright, with my review of New Japan Pro Wrestling's Battle in the Valley 2024 event. From San Jose, California, about 2,800 seat capacity and about 2,100 people there. And you know what? I can't say I absolutely love this show, but it had its moments, good and bad. Oh boy. I'm certainly going to probably get some shit for some of the things I didn't like on this show. But that being said, I did appreciate the atmosphere. It was nice and intimate. They had a good crowd there. And I do want to apologize for not having this review up last night or even earlier this morning. I worked late and then I watched AEW Collision and Battle of the Belts, and I didn't have time or the energy to watch it last night. So there you go. All right. So the kickoff match is I watched this with the Japanese commentary feed. I love the enthusiasm of the Japanese commentary team. I don't know what the fuck they're saying. I understand maybe 5 words, but they have energy. I could have paid the extra for the U.S. feed, but you know what? It is what it is. Walker Stewart, Chris Charlton, and you know what? Any guest commentaries they have, they certainly do provide energy as well. I like Walker Stewart and Chris Charlton as a new commentary duo. So, Matt Vandegrift versus Goldie. Not the man who is a name we will never forget, Goldie. No, it's not Goldust. I don't know what the hell I'm on about. I've been up since about 4 a.m. today. Apparently, they've been in the New Japan Academy. They got to go out there in front of the live crowd. And you know what? Good agility by Matt Goldie playing a nice heel. It was fine. There was a beautiful fisherman suplex by Goldie. And some kicks, because why not? And a 450 eventually by Matt 1-2-3. Not bad. And then Viva Van versus Stephanie. Backward. Oh, Stephanie. My God. Oh, absolutely tremendous look on both these women. I mean, with respect. Love their gear. Love their look. And they both carry themselves very well in the ring. Viva Van has worked some independent shows in Washington State. And Stephanie, she's got a captivating look. I need to check out more of her stuff. So, a nice roll kick by Viva. There was some good mat work here as well. I did note at one point Stephanie trapping Viva. Can she trap me like that next? Nevertheless, a very nice, double knee. There was a very, very good series of near falls here. I mean, they were kicking it up and everything, bringing the crowd into it. And then eventually a double underhook backbreaker 1-2-3. So Stephanie got the victory. The ref, by the way, the redheaded ref, I do not know her name. I like her. One, she has a good authority face, and also she looks good. She does. Good job, New Japan. You're bringing women in to be referees and actually featuring them seriously, even if they made the referees seem goofy a little bit later on. The main show, opening package, Filthy Tom Lawler is a delight. It's hard to believe that 2 years ago, when they were still doing weekly New Japan Strong tapings, or at least, taping in a block and then showing them over the course of a number of weeks, it was hard to believe that I actually was able to see that in historic Washington Hall and got to see Tom Lawler and a bunch of people, along with one of my very best friends, Rox, and I hope she's doing very well. Like, she's watching this. She has better things to do. But it was Team Filthy, Filthy Tom Lawler, Royce Isaacs, and Jorel Nelson. And Isaacs and Nelson, it's weird that I got to see them basically when they were really just getting going on the independents, seemingly, at least in this area, at Defy. And then they were on NWA, especially Royce, and they've been killing it in New Japan on the Strong brand. So I'm really, really happy for them. They're a good team. Tom Lawler is just great. He has the animated facials and just has the style and the pizzazz. So it's Team Filthy versus Shota Umino, Jacob Fatu, and Fred Rosser. Oh, look. New Japan has a monster. Maybe they can get him away from MLW and they can use him full time. Jacob Fatu is exactly the person they need. If WWE can't get him, or AEW, and God forbid, I don't know how AEW would use him. They don't really know how to use monsters. Jacob Fatu, met him about almost 5 years ago as of this recording. Nice guy, but when that bell rings and he tells you to get out of the way, you're either going to get out of the way or he will make you get out of the way. They built up the hot tag to Jacob Fatu, and they fucking exploded. He was hitting kicks. He hit a couple ducks. He was feeling it. He was motivated. Jacob Fatu is great to watch in the ring. It did get a bit messy later on, back and forth, and then the Death Rider from Shota pinned Royce Isaacs 1, 2, 3. And then, we get a nice, show respect, all that, We get a handshake from Fred Rosser, or by Fred Rosser, to Tom Lawler, or vice versa, strike that, reverse it, because they've had their history, and the idea is did he finally earn Lawler's respect? He slapped him in the face and then shook his hand. And then Shota Umino is going around the ring after Fatu and Rosser have left. And this was the big story, and I talked about this in my AEW review because it ties to AEW. Suddenly, Jungle Jack Perry shows up in a mask. He probably should keep that on because the mask has more expressions than he does. And apparently he's either been living in the wilderness. He finally hit puberty. He grew a beard. Yeah, he attacks Shota and does all this and rips up his AEW contract. Ooh. Look. I don't know what his AEW contract status is. Maybe Khan said, go over here until the heat dies down. I don't know what did or didn't happen between Punk and Jack Perry. I don't care. Punk's making a shit pot full of money in WWE and on a show that more people are watching. And Khan is left picking up the pieces. Jack Perry is as good as he's ever going to be. He has not really advanced all that much. I thought the heel run would work. It hasn't. He's been off of television for a while. I mean, the last time that we saw him was what? Wembley? I think it was Wembley because I don't think he was there at the taping afterwards. So he's been gone for a few months. And let's see him try that whole Crimea River thing in New Japan. Even the U.S. roster would slap him around and drown him in that river. They would have him just basically floating down the goddamn river. Let's see him try that with Suzuki or Ishii or any of that. He thinks that he doesn't need to get advice from any of these legends or any of these veterans. Let's see how well that works. Let's see if your friendship with the Bucks can save you. It can't. I don't think Jack Perry's cut out for this. I really don't. Now, yeah, it's a work. It's obviously a work. There were people that were buying, oh my God, he ripped up his contract. It's not how contracts work. And if he did do that, let's just say hypodermically that he decided to do that and actually torpedo his job in AEW. You think WWE would come calling? Hell, it took forever for them to, want to bring in the son of this man, Brian Pillman, who's now Lexus King, who has all the personality of Driftwood. I hope that Jack Perry actually can shape up because his attitude's going to need to shape up because he may only be in his mid-20s, but he's going to need to really, really work hard to earn some respect, especially New Japan. They already got enough problem people there. So, he then also puts on an armband that says scapegoat. Oh, white people making themselves the victim when they don't need to. I can say that as a white person because we tend to do that. We tend to. You're not a scapegoat. He should be a sacrifice goat. It's a shame, too, because Jack Perry actually seemed like he was on the ascent, and now he just puts the ass in ascent. So Rocky Romero and Soberano Jr. versus Volador Jr. and Mascarar Dorado, who I thought was Elias with no beard. Look, I like Rocky, and this had flippy shit. I ain't care. No disrespect to any of the luchadors there. No disrespect. The match was fine for what it was. Didn't matter to me. A Destroyer pinned Rocky. It was what it was. It wasn't offensive. It just wasn't something I cared about. Speaking of things I didn't care about, and by the way, if you were looking and hoping for a fully detailed review and deep dive on this show, what the fuck are you doing watching my channel? Because I just like to have fun here. Especially if New Japan is not going to take some of this seriously and is going to insist on Bullet Club existing constantly all over every show, US or in Japan. I'm not going to give a shit. TJP versus David Finlay. Oh, hell no. Who's the heel here? Oh, I don't care. Finlay won. So, ELP and Hikuleo took on the Bullet Club Hure Dogs of Clark Connors and Alex Coughlin. You know, I remember when I thought Connors and Coughlin actually could be something, but with the Bullet Club stuff on them, no, they can't. Strong open-weight tag team championships. I'm done with Bullet Club, so anytime Bullet Club is involved in shit, I just have to just zone out. I'm sorry, but there is nothing that they can do to make me interested. Suddenly my fast forward button got stuck, but I did manage to see a choke slam in the Super Thunder Kiss 86 1 2 3. And there we are. So the champs retained. Julia is a goddess, an absolute goddamn goddess. She commands your attention. She has that physical charisma. She's a goddamn beauty. Incredible beauty. And she really just exudes that star quality. Trish Adora, her opponent. And Trish has been impressive in her AEW outings. Seen a little bit of her stuff in Ring of Honor. She can work. She's tall. She has the size and the strength. And Julia obviously was going to be the winner here as a strong women's champion, or the IWGP women's champion, or New Japan women, whatever the fuck it is. Too many championships. What a nice octopus stretch. Gotta be tied up with Julia like that. Moving on. Let's move on from that. Do you think Julia's going to WWE, by the way? Answers in the comments, please. It'd be a blow to stardom, but you know what? If she's going to get big money, good for her. Trish has a strength. There was a nice crossface by Julia, and then we got some Germans, a nice arm trap by Adora. There was some good offense here. They worked well together. A double underhook for 2. That was off the top. And then a knee, a nice big knee, and then a Northern Lights bomb, 1, 2, 3. Julia wins, but you know what? Trish had a good showing there. There was no way she was going to win this, but it was what it was. It certainly was a fuck ton more interesting than the previous 2 matches, and a show of respect than the Lights Out. No new challenger for Julia. Mustafa Ali is continuing his campaign, and he has challenged Hiromu Takahashi for Windy City Riot that apparently is taking place on April 12th. Maybe I'll watch that, maybe I won't. For Ali in a New Japan ring, though, I'm all for it. And you know what? If this is going to be a year-long thing that he does, and maybe if WWE is smart and actually brings him back and gives him double the pay, then good. But if this, 1, he looks like he's been living in the gym. 2, he's appearing at any indie he can. Reputable indie, that is. He's going to be wrestling in Seattle in a few weeks. I'm not going to be going because it's in February, winter, and also I am trying to stay away from Seattle because I have issues with that wrestling promotion that I will not go into here. Let's just say things that have happened to friends of mine that have not been addressed, and people in charge have not done anything to rectify that. I'm not knocking the wrestlers, but that was cool. The crowd popped. This was good. ZSJ and Bad Dude Tito. Matt Riddle is in New Japan because they don't have a problem taking on people with criminal pasts. ZSJ and Bad Dude Tito, nothing against them at all. I mean, fuck, I got that ZSJ shirt. I got to see Zack Sabre Jr. and Bryan Danielson at Wrestle Dream. I was 4th row ringside. That was great. Bad Dude Tito has been very impressive. He's usually the fall guy in every single one of these goddamn matches. But you know what? He's impressive. He has absolutely improved in the couple years since I've been seeing him on New Japan U.S. programming. But Matt Riddle had a mystery partner. Who was it? Jeff Cobb. Apparently they have history. Good for them. They loved Riddle. It is San Jose. They only have the Sharks to cheer for. Hockey. I mean, why the fuck would you want to cheer for? I'm kidding. The San Jose Sharks have a cool logo. They have Zack Sabre Jr. is a joy to watch. Look, Matt Riddle, as far as ability in the ring, could work in New Japan. And also the fact they don't care about, again, criminal past. Look, let's just say you only got to look at some of the shit he's done and all the drug problems he has and the stuff that he's done and how he's handled women. Yeah, it kind of makes sense why New Japan would have no problem with him. It's kind of hard for me sometimes to root for New Japan with some of the people they have, but then again, every wrestling company has bad people. So, Cobb and Bad Dude Tito get some meat chance. And then we get the Bo Derek, or the Bro Derek, 1, 2, 3. Bad Dude Tito took the pin. it was what it was. It wasn't bad. It wasn't the best featuring of Zack Sabre Jr. It's not the only time we see Jeff Cobb, and there we are. Eddie Kingston against Gabe Kidd for the AEW Continental Crown Championship. I have determined that Gabe Kidd is a motherfucking idiot, and it doesn't even look off in the sense like, oh, this guy looks off. He'd be perfect for wrestling. No, I think that you actually could investigate this guy, and check his house, and you probably would find certain things, like it would be a Jeffrey Dahmer situation. That's an accusation I probably shouldn't have made. He just looks really off. There is something very, very off about Gabe Kidd. He also is really trying hard to be a bad guy, and he just comes off as annoying. Not like I want to see him get beat up. Like, no, this guy's a fucking idiot. Eddie Kingston is great at what he does, physical charisma and ability, and loves that Japanese strong style, but this wasn't good, and ended in a double count out. And then, oh boy, the Bullet Club Cure Dogs show up, and the crowd boos. This was stupid. Very, very stupid. Speaking of stupid, let's get to the next match. And people are not going to like this. I don't care at this point. Jon Moxley and Shingo Takagi, two people I have praised in the past. And I will continue to praise Shingo, and I'll praise Mox when he stops bleeding like a stuck pig. Badass. Yeah, I have to say that because that's all I hear whenever Moxley... And Moxley has overcome a lot of shit. He went to rehab and got clean, and that's difficult. Not a lot of people can do that. And that's great. Being this kind of wrestler, to me, it's not wrestling. A no DQ match. If you can have a no DQ match and feature wrestling, and this really didn't. And any wrestling moves that they tried to do, was just, they were, undercut by all the weapons. It took them all of maybe 2 minutes to get weapons out. There were kendo sticks, and a trash can, and a chain. Red Shoes gets involved a bit, trying to get Moxley to calm down. Moxley bows to him. We get a Red Shoes chant. I like Red Shoes. So, there was a can on the head, and then kendo sticks to it. That's stupid. And then we got sticks, we got broken sticks and sticks in the head because moronic behavior, really moronic behavior. Deathmatch wrestling, by the way, is not wrestling. It's not. I will never fucking call it wrestling. And elbow through a table. Shingo used the mist. At this point, I think my cat used the mist on somebody. I think he used it on a few hummingbirds to kill them. Good kitty. Adopt, don't shop. And then, Death Rider on a chair. 1, 2, 3. This is pure garbage and one of the worst things I've seen this year. And I know we're only like 2 weeks into the year, but Jesus Christ. And then he calls out Naito. Are we getting it in Chicago? Possibly. Are we getting it maybe next month in Osaka? Maybe. I honestly have no idea. I actually really don't know when they're making that. Maybe he did say Chicago and I just tuned out the goddamn thing. Package on Okada and Ospreay. Big pop for both. Look, I'm going to say that I appreciate the effort and I was enthralled by some of this match, and I've seen a lot of what they can do. They've had better matches. One, Ospreay is going for a huge amount of money from Tony Khan. And I don't blame him. I don't blame him one bit. Because his style, he is not going to be wrestling like this for very long, and might not be wrestling after 35, so he might as well get all the money he can. So it's for the first time, for the last time, until the next time. Crowd's very up for this. It starts slow as you would expect. Okada was much more heelish. DDT on the floor. A tombstone on the floor. He was fucking rolling here. We got an Os Cutter in the ring for 2. And the Rainmaker pose after the tombstone outside. And then we got a Spanish Fly out of the Rainmaker. That was nicely done. A Styles Clash for 2. And then Okada, his Stormbreaker for 2. Rainmaker only for 2. That was a bit surprising. Didn't expect that. This did go 30 minutes, and the kicking out of everything really is starting to test my patience, but it is what it is. Strikes back and forth. We got a nice, flying hidden blade variation. It wasn't really a flying forearm. It's more just like, nah. Just going to throw his elbow like that. Ospreay does the pose. He hits the Rainmaker. That's just for 2. Hits a Stormbreaker for 2. And then Okada finally takes over, beats the shit out of him, hits a landslide, and then hits a Rainmaker 1, 2, 3. show respect after. Oh, look, Bullet Club showed up. Yay, we haven't had enough fucking Bullet Club in this. Let me just say Gato deserves to actually be thrown in the same river that Onita dived into. Maybe that'll fix his booking. It can't make it any worse. So then TJP, Cobb, and Eddie show up, and then we get Ospreay saying thank you to the fans. And, we're going to have a steel cage match in Osaka on February 11th. I'm going to bring my backyard wrestling to to New Japan. The jokes write themselves, folks. I don't know how much New Japan I'm going to review. I may review some big events. I'll probably review that February 11th one in Osaka. But this is a hit and miss show. It was a pick mix bag. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Ritlin. I'll see you soon.